I'm Kyle with Polaris Service. Today we're going to do some of the most common maintenance items on the Polaris RZR RS1. So we have our maintenance kit. This is going to help us do the front gear case, rear gear case, and some grease points. We're also going to check the coolant level, replace the belt, and replace the air filter. So we've got some tools here that we need. We've got some safety equipment and gloves and eye protection, and let's get started. First thing we'll do is make sure the vehicle is in a clean, well-ventilated area on a flat surface and that the transmission is in park. To access the air filter, remove the harness out of the way of the seat, lift up on the rear latch, take the seat completely out. There's two quarter-turn knobs up here. Turn those and lift up on the access panel to remove it. Now we can see the airbox cover. There are three latches on the top. We hinge down, pull that cover off, and then the air filter just slides out to the side. Before we put the air filter back in, we want to clean the airbox. Make sure it's clean and dry and that there aren't any obstructions in the ducts or debris. As we reinstall the filter, make sure that this adapter is on place on your new filter, or if you're putting the old filter back in. Slide that back on. Then we can reinstall the cover. We'll reinstall the access panel. And finally, reinstall the seat. For grease points on the RS1, there are two on the rear stabilizer bar, one on each side, and two on the front stabilizer bar, one on each side, as well as a prop shaft grease zerk, which can be accessed through the floor. In order to access the coolant bottle or remove the belt cover, it may help you to remove this fender, so we'll go ahead and do that now. We have a quarter-turn latch in the front, strap in the rear, and a strap at the bottom. We can hinge this out a little bit, and then there are locking tabs in this area. So just pull up a little and remove the fender. Now we're going to remove the clutch cover so that we can inspect or change a belt. There are 9 fasteners around the perimeter of the outer clutch cover, and we'll also remove the fastener here on this hose clamp so that we can get the ducting out of the way. That'll help us access one fastener on the clutch cover and remove the clutch cover entirely. Now that we've got the clutch cover off, we'll go ahead and remove the belt. Your toolkit comes with this threaded tool that you can thread into the secondary clutch. It spreads the sheaves and helps removing the belt become a lot easier. Now we're going to install the new belt. Before we do that, we want to make sure that the clutches aren't damaged or grooved, that the inner clutch is clean and free of debris, especially if you had a belt blow. You want to make sure any cords or debris are removed, as well as any debris that could have gotten into the ducting. So as we reinstall the belt, we want to make sure that we can read Polaris as we put it on. We'll go over the primary clutch, and then work the belt back onto the secondary. Then we can remove the spreader tool. Then we'll want to spin the secondary clutch to get the belt back up on top of the sheaves. Next, we'll reinstall the clutch cover. We want to make sure this is clean and free of debris as well, and that the seal is in place and in good condition. good tip here, once you have the cover in place, is to start a few fasteners before the fastener back here, because you'll need to have the duct out of the way in order to get it tightened. Now that we've got all these fasteners started, we'll torque them to the spec that's in our owner's manual, and then we can reinstall the ducting and tighten the hose clamp. Now we're going to check the coolant level. So to access the radiator fill cap and the overflow bottle, we'll start by removing the screw here that holds on this panel. Now that this access panel is removed, we can access the radiator cover and the overflow bottle. To check the coolant level, we have a min line and a max cold line. So as long as we're between those lines, we're good to go. Now we can just reinstall the access panel. So now we're going to take a look at the transmission and rear gear case fluid. To inspect and fill, the plug is on the back of the vehicle here. If you need to drain and replace the fluid, there is a pill-shaped hole in the belly pan of the vehicle where you can access the drain. When replacing the fluid, we always recommend using Polaris engineered AGL. And so now we will go ahead and remove this and inspect the fluid. And on this gear case, it is full when the fluid is right to the bottom of the threads. This one looks full, so we'll inspect the drain plug to make sure that it's clean and that the O-ring is in good condition. We'll reinstall the plug and torque to the spec in our owner's manual. Now we'll take a look at the front gear case on the RZR RS1. We have a fill hole or plug on the side of the gear case, the right side in front of the drive shaft. Then we have a drain plug on the bottom, which is accessed through a hole in the frame. So if you're replacing this fluid, make sure to check with your periodic maintenance chart in the owner's manual. Then we'll drain the fluid, reinstall the plug, and then use a measuring cup and a funnel to add fluid back through this plug. Polaris always recommends using angle drive fluid, and we will fill this to 250 milliliters on this vehicle. To check or change the oil, the first step is to remove this panel on the right rear. So we'll remove the quarter turn latch, strap at the bottom, and a strap at the rear. And then there are some plastic clips at the bottom. The vehicle's in a well-ventilated area, so now we'll make sure it's in park, start the vehicle, and let it idle for 30 seconds. Now that we've run the vehicle for 30 seconds and let it cool down for at least 15 seconds, we will remove the dipstick. You want to make sure that you be careful around the exhaust. So we will wipe the dipstick clean, reinsert it fully and lock it, then remove again to check the oil. Looks good. So now we're done with the maintenance on our RZR RS1. To check out all the maintenance items on your vehicle, be sure to reference your owner's manual. And for more information on lubricants, check out PolarisLubricants.com or visit your Polaris dealer.